Scott Jennings absolutely destroys a CNN panel with a prediction he made about Trump and his foreign policy, and as well as domestic, that ultimately turned out to be true. Guys, this is a good one. You're not going to want to miss this, all right? There is so much coping and seething and outright lying and gaslighting from the left ever since Donald Trump has first entered the White House, or rather, for the second time, and what should have been the third, arguably, but we're not going to get into that right now. It's insane, okay? At the end of the day, Trump has made promises, and say what you want about the guy, whether you like him or not, he has absolutely delivered on some of them, including with the use of tariffs, something that he was mocked about mercilessly. Oh, it's not going to work. They said, oh, what else did they say? Oh, it's so terrible he's doing this. It's going to ruin our economy, blah, blah, blah. None of that has happened yet. So, hey, you got to hand it to the Trump. He is doing something right. With all that being said, Patriots, we're going to get right into it. But first, do me a big favor here. Like our video and share it around so we can keep bringing you guys this great hard-hitting content. As always, my friends, I'm your host, Arian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
The name of the game here is behavior modification. He wants Canada and Mexico to help stem the flow of drugs and people across the border. That's number one. He doesn't think they're doing enough. He's using these tariffs as a tool to say, look, I'm not fooling around. We mean business. Until you help me, I'm going to inflict some pain upon you. The American economy is bigger than yours. You depend on us more than we depend on you. Therefore, please modify your behavior. And I'm sure conversations are going on with both countries about what it would look like to secure their borders and to stop the flow of people and drugs across the border. And if Donald Trump could tell us that that was happening, I think that would be a great outcome. Regarding other countries and regarding our position vis-a-vis other countries, Karen, I want to directly address that. You have to give Trump a little credit so far. He has had some success with this behavior modification strategy so far. It worked on Colombia. And if you look at the news reports from the weekend, it might be working on Panama, as they have started to move away from China a little bit over this issue of who actually controls the Panama Canal. So one of the larger macro issues here to me is Donald Trump on a mission to show dominance in the hemisphere, dominance in the region, and to try to get other people to bend to our will? Colombia and Panama, I believe, have. If Mexico and Canada bend on helping us stop the flow of people and drugs, that would be another victory. And, John, yes, if the tariffs went away, everyone would be happy. We'd have less immigration, less drugs, and lower prices, and that'd be a great day for everybody.
Amen. Now, kind of a cool flashback there, huh? I mean, let's look at what happened since, all right? Just this past week recently, we had Donald Trump essentially forced the Mexican president to say, all right, fine. I will send 10,000 National Guard troops to the northern border in Mexico's case, right? In order to help you guys with this insane crisis that our nation has been foisting upon you. That's a great start. And what's more, Donald Trump didn't even formally stop the tariffs with Mexico. He just said, all right, we're still going to do them. We're just going to do them 30 days later. So who knows? There might be more concessions coming up in the near future. That's awesome. But of course, the left is never going to give Donald Trump the credit he deserves or admit that he or any of his supporters were correct. Now, let's watch Scott Jennings talk about the scourge of fentanyl that is infecting our country, poisoning and ending the lives of so many people, especially the young. It's truly horrible. Also, watch how these people on the CNN panel react to Jennings and what he says. It's really quite telling.
Because he did get new things on Canada, which I'm sure you know. Justin, and I'm just going to read you Justin Trudeau's own statement. Canada is making new, and if I'll define it for you, that means not previously existing, commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar, list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a joint task force to make money laundering and organized crime.
Richard, I'm going to let you in here. But
this is all new. It's all new.
Hold on.
Can I say something before we go to commercial?
Richard, just give me 1 second. 1 second. We've got to make sure that this is clear because you just put fentanyl on the table, figuratively.
Yeah.
They're 43 pounds.
Thank God it's not literal because it'll kill you.
43 pounds of fentanyl.
I wouldn't recommend ingesting
from
it.
Canada, from the northern border, okay? That's not 4,300, not 43,000, 43. Richard.
Okay, so we got these, knew this and knew that and the yes. But was it worth pissing off and offending Canada, which is one of your closest allies?
Yes.
Was it worth all the angst, the drama, the raw emotion when you could have had it with a negotiation?
Can I also chime in? I mean, is that a direct question?
No, he's addressing
it. It was a direct question. I'm sorry.
Richard, so you seem to be extraordinarily worked up about what amounted to 12 hours of conversations between our governments. And the net result of it was everybody who didn't want tariffs should be, like you, should be happy. Everybody who wants less immigration should be happy, and everybody who wants less fentanyl, we should all be saying it's a
We're back at the status
This is going to come back to bite in a way. First of all,
Look at how they just sneer and ultimately dismiss and belittle everything Jennings has to say, even though it's totally correct. Like that one host earlier, that black lady. Oh, a fentanyl czar. It's so disgusting. You know, Trump has gotten real concessions out of Canada, and she's just sitting there laughing about fentanyl when that drug has quite clearly wreaked havoc among the United States. Keep in mind, the #1 cause of death of young people in the United States is overdoses and poisonings. Guess what? Fentanyl is basically the reason for that, why that has climbed to the #1 spot. It's really quite a horrible thing. And then you have the British guy. Oh, I just can't stand him. Oh my God. What about our allies? Oh, the damage. It's so horrible. You should have negotiated. This is a negotiation. All right. Canada was willing to do nothing to do their part and pull their own weight. So Trump said, all right, well, we're going to stop being so nice to you. And then they said, okay, fine. You know what? Maybe it's a forceful negotiation, but guess what? America first. All right. And, you know, I have to say, I'm getting so sick of why are we listening to immigrants who clearly don't, especially immigrants who don't have America's interest in mind, talk to us and lecture us about what we, the American people, need and how our policies should be. This guy's like, oh, Canada's going to be so upset. So will Great Britain, blah, blah, blah. Cool, man. Why don't you just go back to those countries? Why are you even here? God, it's just so obnoxious. I get it. Illegal immigration is a huge problem, but some of these legal immigrants, yeah, I'm just going to stop. All right. I'm just going to stop. I think you guys can catch my drift here. It's getting a little absurd. Now, believe it or not, many of these CNN hosts are still sneering and belittling the American people after all this, even after Trump was totally vindicated on this topic and dismissing it, saying it's a problem, all this stuff. It is pure idiocy. Check this out.
Catherine, to Ashley's point, quantify what the actual impact is here for people saying, look, the market bounced back, no tariffs were put into place, Trump got what he wanted, all's well, we'll do this again in 30 days. Is that kind of the reality from an economic perspective?
I mean, I don't know what Trump wanted in this situation. Again, he didn't actually get anything. But if he were to put these tariffs in place, they would be very painful for American consumers. Okay, Scott. I mean, this is
the total lie.
This is public information.
He got what he wanted. He got an agreement from our neighbors to do more on the border. That's what he wanted, and he got it.
Exactly what they have already been doing.
I understand you're the minister of propaganda tonight, but you don't have to be. You could just say, "Hey, all's well that ends well." Here, come on.
If you don't know that these countries are committing to do exactly what they have already been doing, either you haven't done your homework or you think the American people are idiots. Because again, they're doing
option three. Donald Trump is enforcing what needs to be done at the border, which is more help from our friends. They are our allies and they are important people, but they need to help us, and they've not been helping us, and now they're going to help us even more.
They have been.
But the point is that it's also
ask every family with a fentanyl death how much they've been helping.
Scott, can I just ask you?
Well, they have done nothing more.
Scott, can I ask you though? Like this playbook is like he's got one play. On some level.
It's just insane. Did you notice how that lady over there started laughing as Jennings talked about the fentanyl families and asked them, you know, families who've suffered from that, their kids dying? It's truly disgusting. They've been doing what they've been doing. They've been helping so much. Really? So when over 10 million illegal aliens waltz on into this country because of Joe Biden during his presidency, and Mexico's just been helping out the whole time, you know, they've been trying to stop them. It's disgusting. It's such a gaslight. They are such filthy liars, these people, and somehow we just let them get away with it. Enough is enough. With all that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I know I got a little triggered there, but I am triggered, okay? I love our nation. And if you do too, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks so much, and God bless.